Welcome back everyone, Pierso86 here. Today we are going to, as promised, do a little farming episode in my old stomping grounds of East Sarutabaruta. Now I know what some people watching are thinking and saying, and you're totally right, there are better farming spots than this, and there are better ways to make money, but this place to me, as I'm sure it is to a lot of players, there's just a real connection here, real nostalgia connection. I spent many hours over the years out here farming, collecting items, some of which unfortunately don't sell very quickly or at all on the auction house anymore. I don't even know where to begin. The music, the atmosphere, just the fact that I feel like I can almost recite this map in my head if I'm like laying down to sleep. Like, it's just a special place to me. So as you can see, I've got the lover of all loot, Nanaa Mihgo, one of our most recent, our most recent trust, out with me. She does have the treasure hunter ability. There's a few things I did off camera, one of which was I actually leveled Thief up to level 15. I actually did that with a few jobs just because I figured, why start at level 1 for each job? So I've got White Mage, Black Mage, and Thief up to level 15. That way if we ever want to jump on one of those jobs or use it for sub-job, it's at least somewhat ready, beginner ready. So Nanaa Mihgo has the Treasure Hunter ability, and because I have level 15 Thief, I have that ability as well too, because I've got that as my sub-job. So I've got Treasure Hunter, Gill Finder, evasion bonus, a couple of thief abilities. I've also got steal and sneak attack. As far as I know, Treasure Hunter does not stack with an NPC companion, so I don't think we're receiving any kind of Treasure Hunter bonus. But I figure, you know, this is kind of, Nanaa Mihgo's all about the loot and the money. She is the cat burglar after all, so I figure this might kind of sort of be her scene. Yeah, I just can't get over how much I love this place. It's just so peaceful. I so many times in my life, being stressed with school, going through a bad breakup, or, you know, just not sure where I was kind of going in life, you know, I'd do this. You don't have to put much thought into it. There's really nothing out here at our level that's going to pose any kind of threat to us. And we're going to kill some of these mandragoras, see if we can get some cornets. But, yeah, it's just a special, peaceful little place. One thing that really resonated with me, I was actually watching, there's a guy on YouTube that I really love his FF11 videos. His videos actually kind of inspired me, were one of the inspirations for me to start doing a Let's Play. He's talking a lot about like the gameplay mechanics and nostalgia and stuff. I talk about a little bit of that here. We're also kind of focusing on story and such as well too. It's a YouTuber called Huntin' for Games. Really like his videos, and he hit it really well in this one video. He said that when you were playing the game, especially, I'm going to do my best to paraphrase, when you're doing something like this, like farming or something that doesn't require a ton of attention, some of my best memories on this game were truly the multitasking. Like, I could be sitting with a laptop farming, just mindlessly killing things, and I could be watching it. I could be watching a movie. I could be watching TV. I could be playing another game. I could be doing homework, depending on, you know, how much focus the homework required, or studying. I know those things don't sound like they go together at all, and when you really think about it, they don't. But there were so many times where I would just sneak on here. Like, there'd be times, okay, I'm really busy. I don't have time to go out and invest in a party where I have to pay attention to mechanics and making sure I'm keeping the party happy and keeping everybody alive, because I tended to play tank or healer. But, yeah, coming out here, just with there being literally no risk, those were some of my best memories, just being able to do that, hit two birds with one stone, still make some money in FF11 while enjoying other things. So we're going to go up here. There's a little Notorious Monster that shows up here. I don't know if he'll actually be here. It looks like there's another player hanging out up here too, so he could be dead. but I just want to see if he's chilling out up here. He's a little crab dude called Decapod. I've got his marker right here. So let's see if he's hanging around. He drops a really crappy shield for like a mage class that I really don't need, but the collector in me is like must have, must get. I don't know if he's actually up here though, and if he's not up here, I don't think... Oh, there he is! Alright, here we go. Boss fight! Yay! And no drop. Oh well, maybe next time. So some of the other things that I've done off camera, there's actually been a bit of a gap since I last did some recording. How I've been doing this series is I've been doing like a mass amounts of recording, trying to make sure that I kind of stay ahead of the game. So for example, I could have, let's say, 10 episodes of this series up on YouTube. But in reality, I've got enough footage for maybe 25 episodes, like another 15 episodes. So there's been a little bit of a gap since I last did recording. And in that gap, I've done some farming. I used some login points and got this this awesome, kind of creepy, but I love it, rare up cap, which we're going to wear while we're out hunting here. And I've done some farming out in this area. I find that silk threads from crawlers still sell pretty well. Been selling those for about 30k a stack. Beehive chips and honey used to sell really well, but I'm finding those ones, I think there's, I could be mistaken, but I think there's just a lot of them on the auction house because they're not selling for very much. Like there seems to be a huge supply from people, and I find that mine just sit in limbo for a long time. So I might actually save those for crafting. I've also, as I mentioned, killing mandragoras for cornets. I have handed in a couple of cornets, or well, several cornets already to the NPC in Winders. There's a quest called Mandragora Mad. He takes cornets repeatedly, and you can use those to basically just boost your fame in Winders so that we get access to more quests. Another thing that I've done too, I mentioned the jobs, leveling those up to level 15. The only one I haven't touched yet is Red Mage. I've also gone ahead and I mentioned early on in the series that I have another character on this account. I found that since starting Mr. Pierso here, I'm really not focusing too much on that other character. So I actually moved, his max level was like level 60. I actually moved a bunch of his assets, like money and items and stuff, over to Mr. Pierso, just to help us get ahead in the Let's Play. It's nothing too monumental. Like I said, he was level 60. He didn't really have a crazy amount of stuff to give, but every little bit helps. So we've killed Duke Decapod. I just wanted to kill him quick. So now we're going over near the east side of the Zanbibi River. Am I reading that right? It's a little faded on the map. And the Notorious Monster that I'm sure anybody who's played this game is aware of is a crawler, like the one we're going after now, called Spiny Spipi. Spiny Spipi, usually when you kill Spiny Spipi, you'll get maybe 1 or 2 silk threads, but sometimes you'll also get a Miss Silk Cape as well, which is an item for a white mage. It's a back equip item, and basically it gives pluses to mind, and I think pluses to light resistance as well. So it's a nice little beginner item for white mage. It sells for good money too. I don't know how successful I'd be at selling one on the auction house, and I'm kind of indifferent if we actually get one or not, but I figure we could just come over here. This is my old stomping ground here, and like I said, just so many good memories. This place is just my special little place. So what I usually do is, as you can see our red marker there, we're running east, is I was literally about to start tracing it with my finger when I realized you can't see my finger, is basically what I would do is I'll just get the marker here, basically do like a crescent thing, and I'll just literally just keep patrolling back and forth. And I'll kill anything from crawlers to bees to mandragoras, even goblin thugs. They drop wild onions, and I think I'm actually one wild onion away from a full stack. So could probably kill some of those guys too. And as you can see, like, we're pretty high level, so I mean, we don't have to worry about anything. We're killing these guys pretty darn quick. I don't even really need Nanaa Mihgo out here with me, but we're friends now. We hang out. And it's definitely helpful having wide scan now, because that definitely makes it easier to just see what's going on and what the situation is. I try to get into the habit of using it once down here, over at the tip of the mountains here, and then down south as well too, just to see if Spiny Spipi's showing up. Another thing I've been doing while I've been farming too is I've actually been leveling up our archery skill. So as you can see, our archery, which was non-existent before, is up to 33 now. So Mr. Pierso's actually becoming a pretty decent shot. And that would have been really embarrassing if I said that and missed. I also did some tweaks to the audio as well. I find it depends what device you're on, but I just felt like the actual soundtrack of the game wasn't as audible as I'd like it to be, so I turned that up a little bit, so hopefully that'll be good. If you liked it the way it was before, definitely let me know in the comments below. I haven't made too much of a change, but this game does have a rich, beautiful soundtrack, and I definitely don't want that to be overlooked, because that's like a third of my enjoyment in this game is the music. See, an area like this was actually, back when the game had more people on it, an area like this, it was really beneficial to come out here with a friend. And I remember I had friends I'd play with, and we'd come out here and just kind of divvy up the area and just go around and farm. Oftentimes we'd divvy up the spoils at the end too. It was, or just keep what you found. We don't have a crazy amount of space. As you can see, I've got some stacks of beehive chips and honey, and I do have a couple of scrolls that I got from my other character. So I just figured, you know, there's definitely a thrill to starting out new and not having anything and having to earn everything. But I figured if all those items were just sitting there not being used, kind of a waste. So to any former or current FF11 players out there, feel free to share in the comments below. What's your stomping ground in FF11? What is or was your favorite farming spot? Or maybe not even for farming. Where was the spot that you just like to go to think, to chill out, to dial it back from the action and the questing? What was your special spot that maybe you still play the game, maybe you're thinking about coming back, maybe you don't play it. Maybe you're watching this Let's Play knowing that you're not going to play, but you just want to relive that nostalgia. What was your special place? I'd really love to hear from you. I mean, I'm enjoying making this series, but I really love hearing other people's nostalgia. I love that there's a community of us out there, whether for those of us who still play, for those of us who don't play anymore, who just really have a lot of fond, precious memories of this game. Oh, there's somebody else out here. Ah, they too have a rabbit hat. Since we're wearing a rabbit hat, we might as well look the part and jump. Hoppity, 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 hop. So with this being the area where Spiny Spipi pops after you kill so many crawlers, and the fact that there seems to be another person farming out here, I'm not sure if we'll get a Spiny Spipi claim. If we don't get Spiny Spipi, that's okay. Notorious Monsters are a gamble. I mean, sometimes you claim them, sometimes you don't. And sometimes even when you claim them, like I actually have claimed Spiny Spipi, I think 2 or 3 times since before I started recording this episode. And I haven't gotten a cape drop. It's always just been a couple of silk reds. Oh wow. Well, that was a little overkill, don't you think? Oh, there we go. Wild onion. I only needed one more. So another thing I did while off camera as well too, just farming in this area. So that's the second time I've killed Duke Decapod. No drop from him. Not in any rush to get that. There's another one too in the southeast called Sharp-Eared Ropipi. He's a little bunny rabbit, like Savannah Rareb, Notorious Monster. And he drops an item called the Entrancing Ribbon, which I believe I have in storage here. So that one there is defense 5 and charisma +2. So that's a really great one if you're playing, let's say, a bard or a beastmaster or a blue mage, because bard and beastmaster, a lot of their skills rely on charisma, and a blue mage when they're trying to learn spells, because blue mages actually learn enemy spells that are used on them. Like I believe, for example, this bee here uses a move called Pollen to heal itself. A blue mage can learn that. Higher charisma makes it more likely that you'll successfully learn a skill. So, not an item we need in the immediate, but I did happen to see Sharp-Eared Ropipi and thought, hey, why not? Kick his ass, see if we get the ribbon, which I think it's actually a 100% drop rate for that one. And we have it for later. The nice thing out here too is there's also waterways as well. Like if you wanted to come out and do some fishing, you could. I'm definitely going to have to read a fishing guide when we try some fishing because I never really got too into it, but eventually I would like to do some episodes on crafting and other pursuits as well, just to really showcase some other things that this game has to offer. That sunset, though, look at that. Like, I know the graphics in this game are dated, but gosh, I've said it before, I'll say it again, this world just really, I love it, really captivates me. Speaks to my soul, just look at that. I have to say, if this game had a camping feature where you could set up like a tent and a campfire and just claim a place as your own, I probably wouldn't even live in a Mog house. I'd just live out here. Just pick a little spot, set up a camp, and that would just be our permanent home. Zero regrets. Oh wow, little guy survived. What a trooper. I will reward you with a sword to the face. Don't spend it all in one place. The nice thing about handing in these cornets for a quest too is you do actually, my Mog case is pretty full, but you do get 200 gil for every cornet that you hand in. So it's not much, but it's a nice little chunk of change. It adds up, and the fame bonuses are priceless, right? So that you can get more quests. I don't really bother too much with the Goblin Weavers. They drop some cloth-related stuff for cloth crafting. I don't have any immediate plans to get into that, so I'm not really too worried about it. I mostly stick to the thugs for the wild onions. When you're farming in this game, I find you really have to, because this game has an economy, and the economy is extremely different. I don't know if calling it broken is correct, because keep in mind, I was gone for many years, but it's a lot different. Some items are very inflated, and I find that you really have to think, okay, if I'm going to put these items up on the auction house, are there people out there that are going to need those items? Do they need them for a quest? Do they need them for a mission? Are they sought after for crafting? Are they something that, yeah, are they something that somebody's going to use, going to go after? And there are some items I find that just either don't sell anymore, or maybe there's just too many of them on the auction house and your entry just gets lost in the hundreds of other entries that are up. One thing I found, as I said before with crawlers and silk thread, I found at any point I've played this game, the price fluctuates, but Silk threads always seem to be a sought after item. It's been like that since the old days too, when I played. It's so that it's nice that that's a reliable source of income. The drop rate on them is pretty low, but if you're patient and you're diligent, I mean, I've sold a few stacks already for like 30k a stack, and it's a nice little chunk of change. It's getting kind of gloomy out here. I kind of want to see if this person will hop with me. Hop with me, friend. Hop with me. Embrace the spirit of the bunny rabbit. Anybody bring any marshmallows? And I just found Spiny Spipi on the wide scan. Let's go ahead and tag him and see what we can do. I had the names off there for a sec because I was just trying to get some pictures for potential future screenshots. Alright. So this is always exciting, that heart jumps in your throat moment when a Notorious Monster pops. And we did not get this cape, but we got 2 silk threads, and I am totally happy with that. So yeah, that's basically, I'd come here, hit up all the other mobs here, collect items, eventually hoping to catch that guy. There were some nights I'd claim him 2 or 3 times a night. It was mostly back in my college days when I should have been doing homework. We're just going to use a scroll of instant warp here. There's one more thing I want to show you folks before we wrap up this episode. So because Mr. Pierso inherited some money from my other character, I ended up buying a few things for our Mog house. As I've said before though, we're in a foreign country, so we just have a rental. So in order to show this to you, I have to go back to Bastock. Just show you what we did here. Well, we're done farming, so I'm gonna go ahead and take our attractive little cap off. The last thing I wanted to show you was some of the furniture that I picked up for our Bastock Mog house. Furniture in this game, you gotta be really careful what you buy because some furniture is ridiculously expensive. So a couple of these I bought from an NPC. The rest of it I bought from the auction house with some of the extra gil that I got from my previous character. So it's a nice little inheritance. So we've got a simple little bed. Got, I really thought this emblem with the swords and the shields looked cool, so we got that over top of the bed. Hopefully that doesn't fall off and, like, kill us in our sleep. Got a wardrobe, armor chest, and this little fire hearth thing here too, which is right in front of our fireplace. Kind of redundant, but I thought it looked cool. And there's a table and a little tea set as well. No chairs, but you can always just do this. So, I'll bet you're wondering, for those of you who haven't played this game, what's the point of any of this? I think it's mostly just novelty, just something nice to look at. I believe you actually get a second floor for your Mog house too. Might have to quest for that, I'm not sure. We'll look into that another time. So much to do. And I also got a fish aquarium as well too. Just thought that was kind of neat. And with login points, I got a statue of Aroa. And if we ever have her over for tea or dinner or whatever, I hope she doesn't find this creepy.
I made a little shrine for you. I keep it next to my fish.
Well, that got weird. Another awesome thing too is by having all this stuff, you actually get access to this option called storage. So because of all the stuff we now have an extra 36 spaces, and this is where I've been throwing some of our trophies from Notorious Monsters. Couple of these I did get from my other character, like we didn't go out and camp the Notorious Monster for Marshall Slacks or any of these. This entrancing ribbon's the one from the Sharp-Eared Ropipi bunny I mentioned earlier. It's always nice to have a little bit of extra inventory space.